Hi everyone, my name's Stacey Bobiel and welcome everyone to today's volunteer induction session. I'm speaking to you today from the lands of the Wathaurong people. I'm based in Jan Juc. With only a couple of weeks to go till our opening event, or less than 2 weeks now, things are getting very exciting. So in case I haven't met you, I'm the project manager for Lawn Sculpture Biennale 2022, and I'll be running the first part of this induction session. This recording, unfortunately, will not include our accessibility session with Tricia Maloney. Tricia did send out some extra, resources for us to use, and I'll be sharing those with you with your information pack. So today, what I'll be going through with you is an overview of this year's event, important locations, contacts, your rights and responsibilities, and the important planning that goes into ensuring both your and our audience's safety. So your role as a volunteer with Lawn Sculpture Biennale 2022, you'll know that our volunteers have always been the heart and soul of our event. So by volunteering with Lawn Sculpture Biennale, you are helping to realise one of the largest art events in the country. In addition to it being an obligation for us to provide you with adequate training to perform your role to the best of your ability, I'm hoping that this session will also provide you with the right amount of confidence so that you can enjoy your role to the fullest and reflect on your time at the Biennale as being a wonderful experience. Our volunteer coordinators are Barb Barber, Janet Good and Lou Davies. Now, I'm sure you've all been contacted by one or all of these lovely ladies already. If you have not been, they will be in touch very soon. Equally, if after this session you have an interest in participating beyond those sessions that you've been allocated to already, don't hesitate to get in touch with them to let them know that you'd be interested in these other roles. For our 2022 event, Spirit of Place represents a new curatorial model. While reflecting on the feedback that was collected after the 2018 event, Graham Wilkie came across a comment on one of the visitor surveys. It said something along the lines of, "This exhibition was beautiful as always, but where is Lawn in all of this?" So the event has always been popular and our foreshore has always presented a beautiful backdrop to some great works of art. But Graham's new model asks, what if lawn was no longer the backdrop, but part of the work itself? So this new curatorial model was developed with placemaking at its heart. So 16 artists have been commissioned to respond to 16 sites along the foreshore from Point Grey to the Erskine River mouth. While each of these sites are themed specifically around the unique histories of lawn, these themes are broad enough to invite deep artistic interpretation. Our sculpture artists will offer the stories of the spirit of this place now called Lawn in the heart of Gutterbanood country. So, to familiarise yourself with this year's exhibition, our website is certainly worth a look. There's a lot of great information in there about each precinct, artists, and of course the full calendar of events. When you're browsing through the website, which you can find at lawnsculpture.com, don't forget to go to these specific pages. Go to the resources page. This contains all of our education kits. It also contains information about our accessibility plan, and it will also contain information about being a volunteer, amongst other things. Another great page to go have a look at is our Stories of Place. We've done a series of videos with 3 of our sculpture artists and also with Richard Colopy, who is the traditional custodian of the Gutterbanood. These are great videos and give you really great insight into the process involved in creating the works of art that the artists Ryan Kennedy, Lane Hoggerty and Simon Buttonshaw have gone into in the development of their work. Another worth a look at is the gallery shop. So we've set up an online shop which will contain all the small sculpture that will be in the small sculpture exhibition. There's also a few different bits of pieces of works that our artists have allowed us to sell and get our 30% commission from, which goes towards developing biennales in the future. So that's fantastic. But there's also works on paper and like other, there's some lamps from Deborah Halpin, which are just gorgeous. So well worth a look at that. The Sculpture Plus program, this is another new addition to the Biennale program for 2022. This program is extensive and has a broad array of events from performance through to talks and workshops. So each indoor event will require volunteers to assist with check-in and ticketing procedures. Other roles for our events include general guide, for example, greeting people on site, at artist talks or answering any questions about the Biennale. At this stage, we also require volunteers to clean indoor venues after each workshop and at the end of each day at Community Connect. And also in our, we'll be having workshops at the Uniting Church building. This is for COVID safe reasons. I'm working on a list of these requirements and our coordinators have a copy of this and they'll be in touch to see where you might fit with each of these roles. Workshop assistants. This is another role that is possible for those of you who are working with Children Check. We have a number of workshops, such as the Spirit of Place construction workshop on the 2nd of April. We've got Deborah Halpin inspired mosaic workshop on the 19th of March. And we've also got Murnong Minnie and her Indigenous weaving workshops on the 19th and 20th of March. There's also seaweed sculpture and seaweed cyanotypes workshops with Christine Rockley. These also involve rock ramble, collecting seaweed prior to undertaking the workshop. So if you have a Working with Children check, please get in touch if you'd like to assist with those workshops. The highlights of the program and those that we anticipate will get large crowds for the projections on the lawn cinema and on the beach, on the sand that is, in front of the surf club. We've got Lucy O'Grady doing a solo piano performance on the beach. We've got Insta meets and iPhone photography workshops and as I mentioned, children's workshops. We also have the Sculpturescape event on again this year. That will be held in the 2 middle weekends where 4 artists each weekend will install, exhibit, sometimes perform, and then deinstall their art all within that single weekend. So that's the 2 middle weekends of the Biennale. So I'd recommend having a look at our calendar of events, which is on our website. It's listed in date order, so have a scan through there. There's also a print copy available at the top of that calendar, which you can just click on and it brings up a PDF version, which is in probably a single screen, more readable format for you than the website. COVID safe planning for this year. The inevitable planning. We're very lucky though that it does seem like at the moment we are moving out of a lot of the restrictions. However, we're requiring all workers on site to be fully vaccinated. This is still a requirement of the government, and this includes performers, volunteers and staff, and all staff at our venues. At this stage, check-ins are still required in controlled spaces, so this will be all indoor venues, and we'll also have codes available for check-in at our larger outdoor events that we expect to get a lot of people at. So this area is very much a moving feast in terms of regulation. However, we are committed to keeping our volunteers and audience as safe as possible. So regardless of government restrictions, we'll still be recommending that our volunteers wear masks when interacting with the public and to maintain safe distances from others when you are interacting. We'll have N95 masks available for all volunteers for each roster, and we'll also be supplying ubiquitous hand sanitizer at each info hub and indoor venue. So I'll make our COVID event plan available to all our volunteers along with your volunteer guide. So the map of our event, I will just bring that up and share the screen so that you can see that. This is part of our program and makes up the back page of that program. So I'll just scroll through. You can see how the layout of the program actually shows you the whole 4 weekends on a single fold out. So that's fantastic. So here we have the site map that is included as part of this program. So you notice that the important sites include the Lawn Community Connect building, which is going to be our Biennale hub. Now, this is where all small sculpture sales will take place, and that will be our main home base, I guess. You'll see here marked with I, these are the 3 info hubs. So these are the areas you'll be allocated to at the start of your shift. The central one here will be a painted shed. These 2 at either end at the Aquatic Club and at the Erskine River mouth adjacent to the swing bridge will be blue marquees. So you'll see we've got the precincts numbered from 1 all the way through to 16 all along the foreshore. We've also indicated where there are toilets, where there's first aid available, where there's the police station, of course, the information centre, and all of the locations for our venues such as Kudos Fine Arts, All Saints Anglican Church. All of these details are below here and relate to the program above that. So that can be viewed by going to the calendar on our website. So with the main sculpture trail, we've got at each site a large precinct sign that'll be your standard real estate sign. And this information, the information featured on here will be information about the site, the artists and the work. It will also have 2 QR codes, one that links directly to each individual artist page. And on this artist page, there'll also be a button that shows, that will lead that individual through to the all products that are available for that artist. So any small sculpture that that artist's selling, and also the larger work that will be on display. The other QR code that will be on those signs will link directly to the People's Choice Award voting. Now, the People's Choice voting is, we're offering an incentive of 2 nights accommodation at the Mantra. And there's also an opt-in for a post-event survey that we'll be running. So on the online form and the paper-based one, which is a tear-off section on that program you saw before, there's a tick box for people to opt into this post-event survey that we'll be conducting. So we've got a separate lot of prizes for that. So those who opt in will go into the draw to win either a dinner for 2 at Ipsos or a joint ticket to an afternoon at Livewire Park. So the People's Choice Award, that's one of our main awards and will be announced on the final day of the Biennale. We're encouraging all volunteers to draw people's attention to the voting in the People's Choice Award when you're interacting with the public. So sales inquiries. I spoke before about the gallery shop page. This is on our website. All large and small works will be listed on this online gallery shop, and the prices for works will be there as well. So details for all of these works will be accessible via this QR code on the precinct signs. All sales inquiries should be referred to the small sculpture exhibition. And the small sculpture exhibition will be on show throughout the Biennale at the Community Connect building, or the old Senior Citizens building behind Fig Tree House in Otway Street. The hours for the small sculpture exhibition are 11 AM to 4 PM on the weekends and 1 to 4 PM on weekdays. Each day we'll have a small sculpture sales expert at Community Connect, and all sales inquiries should be referred to them. Karen Pitt is managing the sales, so if you have experience, please get in touch with her to join the sales team. There is some concern that people may not find the small sculpture exhibition, so we're recommending that people suggest this at every opportunity, so please direct people to the Community Connect location. I'd also recommend that all of you visit the exhibition because it should be a fantastic one. What else will be on the sculpture trail? There will be a Barwon Water refill station. Barwon Water have kindly sponsored our event by providing us with some power, and also a Barwon Water refill station. So because our event is held within the Surf Coast Show, of course, and because we want to be sustainable, it's a plastic-free event, or single-use plastic-free event. So we're encouraging people to bring reusable water bottles. So when you're coming onto shift, bring your reusable bottle. This could be refilled at the Barwon Water refill station. We'll also be encouraging all of our audience and visitors to do that as well. So your role on the day. You'll be required to check in prior to your shift at the central, well, whichever hub you've actually been allocated to. Please ensure you sign in and out each day. This is related to insurance and safety, and we can make sure how many volunteers we know we have out there at any given time. At sign-in, we'll take your mobile number if we don't have it already, in case we need to get in touch with you during your shift. What to wear and what to bring. Of course, wear comfortable shoes. There is definitely a lot of standing, and there may be some walking involved in your role. We'll be providing vests for all our volunteers this year in B&Ali blue, and these should ensure that you stand out in the crowd. So these will be handed back at the end of each shift, we're thinking, and they'll be laundered daily for COVID safe purposes. Please bring your refillable water bottle, as I said before, snacks, sunscreen, of course, and a decent hat if it's a really sunny day. If you're helping out at a workshop, please wear clothes that you don't mind getting paint or glue or otherwise on. And we're really happy to let you know that at the end of each shift, we'll be able to give you a muffin and a coffee from HAH or Ha Cafe on the foreshore. So make sure you collect your voucher before you leave for your shift, and these will be made available to you at the beginning or end of each shift, depending on the time of day that you come along. Okay, accessibility information. Many of our sites may be considered difficult to access for some. There is some reasonably rough terrain, the shipwreck trail that leads, that will be carrying people between Point Grey and the Erskine River mouth is gravel in sections, and may be difficult for some people with walking aids or in wheelchairs. So we're letting our audience know about this and other bits and pieces of how we're making our event more inclusive and more accessible. And this can be read at our accessibility plan, where we've tried to address this through forward planning and providing accessibility aids where and when they may be needed. So you can check this out on our resources page on our website. We'll also be making announcements via social media, and we just have this week about our accessibility plan, and we'll provide some general information to the public about how they can go about looking into getting these resources if they need them. And in addition to general and beach wheelchair access, so we're offering wheelchairs that we've got 3 wheelchairs. We'll have one located at each hub, which will be available to collect for short term without booking. So if someone comes along and says, oh, we just really need this wheelchair for less than 2 hours, we're letting people take them from the hubs and bring them back. If they're needing for a full day, we're recommending that people get in touch and book them for the full day. So we've also got access to Great Ocean Road Authority's beach wheelchair, which allows for sand and water access to that actually requires booking 2 days in advance. In addition to this, we're offering free tickets to carers to paid events, and we've also pre-booked Auslan interpreters for our opening event and our conversations events. So if you're wanting to have a look at more information on accessibility, please go to our resources webpage. So your safety on site. All of our volunteers are covered by our public liability insurance that we have gained through Creative Victoria. So to facilitate this coverage, it is imperative that you sign in for your shift, as I mentioned before. We have a fire plan. Our event sits within a designated fire danger period. So we'll be monitoring conditions daily. using the Big Emergency app and our liaison at the CFA. The event will be cancelled in the event of a code red fire day, and visitors will be discouraged from visiting Lorne through the use of social media notifications and signage on entry into town. We'll be using the social media channels of community notice boards, the Surf Coast Shire Council pages, and also our own. In the incident of a fire in or around Lorne, we will utilise social media channels to provide further instructions as well. First aid facilities. The first aid facilities are available at Lorne Community Hospital and the Lorne Surf Lifesaving Club, but that's on weekends only. So all of you will and other staff will be informed of these locations as part of your introductory session when you come along. If you're trained in first aid, please let the volunteer coordinators know at the commencement of your shift. This may really come in handy for us, and it's just really good to know that we've got people on site who have those skills. Emergency management. We've got a full list of emergency services contacts and they'll be provided to you in your information sheet. It's recommended that each volunteer save these numbers into their phone, save you having to carry around that info guide everywhere. So this listing will also be kept on site at each info hub and at the Community Connect Biennale hub. Excuse me. We've also established a first response guide for emergencies. So this provides instructions for procedures if a medical or first aid emergency is presented to any of our volunteers. So this just gives you a guide on how to proceed there. This brings us to incident reporting. So an incident or accident report form will be available in your info package and also at the info hubs. These are here for completion in the case of an incident or accident which causes injury, or there's first aid intervention, a case of theft, lost child, any damage to artwork or noise complaint. So this is useful for our insurance and also to emergency services if they're referred to. Useful contacts. A full list of contacts will be made available to you in your info pack. This will include the contact names and numbers of all the important people or the relevant people during the event. So that'll include my contact number, all of the volunteer coordinators' numbers and others. There is a grievance procedure as well, and any complaints or grievances should be reported to me via the email manager@lornesculpture.com. All of these will be treated in full confidentiality and we'll make sure we get that resolved for you as quickly as we can. And last but not least, there is a thank you gathering, which is held on the final Sunday of each Biennale traditionally, and we will be sticking with that tradition this year. It will be held on the 3rd of April at 3 p.m. at the Aquatic Club. The winners of our awards will be announced and food and drink are also supplied. So it'd be great to see all of you along there, and we might have a chance to all get together in the one place and share the wonderful experiences that we've all had as part of the Sculpture Biennale. So that's it from me. Thanks so much. If you have any questions about your participation as part of Lorne Sculpture Biennale 2022, please don't hesitate to get in touch with myself, Stacey, or with any of the volunteer coordinators. So thanks so much for paying close attention, and I hope to see you out there during the Biennale. Goodbye.